Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm very sorry to have kept you all waiting for so long, but I'm back and today we are going to make donuts. These donuts will hold a lot of answers to a lot of questions that a lot of people keep asking. How do I make the donut not to soak in oil? I have that answer how your donut is not going to soak in oil whatsoever. And how do I make my donut to have a line in the center? I have the answer to that. I have the technique for that. So please watch this video to the end and learn a lot of things, not just for your donuts but also for general knowledge. You learn a lot of things from the technique and the recipe. Let's get down to the ingredients for our donuts. I have 350 grams of baking flour and I'm going to put it in my bowl here to mix it up at once. So now 350 grams of baking flour goes here. Now my baking flour is sieved up and I will have my powdered milk, 50 grams of powdered milk. Let's see it there. Yes, that's 50 grams of powdered milk right there. So good. That's my powdered milk, 50 grams. I do not sieve the powdered milk, I just put it right there, right? Good. A pinch of salt right there. Pinch of salt. Good. That's my half of a teaspoon of soda. Baking soda, baking powder, bicarbonate of soda, whichever one. Half of a teaspoon. So, put it through my sieve and I sieve it away. Good. Okay, for this recipe, I'll use icing sugar. Now, icing sugar or sugar doesn't matter. Yeah? I prefer icing sugar. But if you do not have icing sugar, please go ahead, use your sugar. Now, I will use 50 grams of icing sugar. So, 50 grams of icing sugar right there. Good, that's 50 grams of icing sugar. And I'll pass it through the sieve, yeah? So that's it for this recipe. 50 grams of icing sugar is well enough. Good, like that. Now these are all the dry ingredients in there. 1 tablespoon of baking yeast goes there, right, for our recipe. 1 tablespoon. I don't like it just exactly 1 tablespoon, so I would use half of a teaspoon just to add it up a little bit. Good. So 1 tablespoon and 1/2 of a teaspoon of baking yeast. You see that? Good. Now, so we're done with this. So the only thing here that maybe it's different from most recipes that you're going to have is the fact that I do not use butter in my recipe. So now, with my hands, so I'll mix it up, mix it up just like that. You can see that, right? Good. Mix it up like that with your hands, with your spoon. If you don't like to go in there with your hands, but come on, if you're about baking, then you should like to go on the dough with your hands, because that's the only way you determine if the dough is nice or not. So now this is it. Good. Now with my hands I've mixed it up. Yes, this is done. Now our baking yeast, you remember we need to activate the baking yeast. So here is our water and we're going to have 60 ml, 60 milliliters of water. If you use it just like that, sorry, but it's not going to rise. It's not going to break off this dry body. You understand? Put the pan on the fire with the 60 milliliters of water. As the water is getting warm, in another bowl, I will put in 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. This is just to activate the baking yeast. This will be enough. You see the bubbles right there. It's enough. And we pour in the water. You can see this water is a little bit too hot. But before we mix off the sugar, it will be ready for use. Okay, we're going to mix up the sugar with a spoon. So now we've mixed up this sugar. It's good now, and the temperature of the water is very good. To check that out, still use your finger. It's a very good indicator if the temperature is good enough. Like that, it's warm enough. It's warm, and I put in my baking yeast right there, and I mix it up. Yes, good. So I'll cover it up with a cling film. That's it. We'll wait for it to rise. My baking yeast is ready. You can see that it's risen. Yes, so we have activated the baking yeast. 60 milliliters of water. 60 milliliters of water goes in the pan and to the burner to make it warm. We put water gradually into our dough. So now I put it on the burner. Before it gets all ready, I break my egg into my dough. Now, breaking the egg, please do not break your egg immediately into the dough, yeah? Break it on a plate, then from the plate, you turn it in the dough. Sometimes the eggs may not be too fresh and you don't want to spoil everything just because of an egg. Yeah, so my egg here is very good, very good. You can see it, very nice. So I'll turn it in the dough. Now, this is how we break the egg into the dough. Just for those of us who are still young and new to the kitchen. Yes? Good. Now, our baking yeast is ready. Ready. First, I'll go in with my hands on the dough, and I will later use the machine to knead it better. So now, we put the baking yeast in there. Put the baking yeast in there, and we knead it, yes, with our hands, gently kneading our dough. We put 60 milliliters of water on the pan, and it's warm now, so we could always add it up here. Now, add it bit by bit, no need to rush. No rush at all. Yeah. Bit by bit. Okay, and I'll add the rest. Yes, to help me just knead it all through. Like knead up everything into the dough. It's pulling off my hands, you understand? So yes, it's pulling off nicely. And I'm kneading it in the dough, but this dough is too tough for a donut. It's very tough now. We put in just another 60 milliliters of water in the pan. Please don't forget to put it a little bit on the fire for it to be very warm. Switch on the mixer. Bring it up like that, yeah? You can see? The water is warm. It's boiling, you see that? You can see the water up. Now that's the water we need. And we'll just go bit by bit, please. Bit by bit. the final one there. 20 milliliters of water. Yeah, 20 milliliters of water. The water is hot enough now. And I'll put it right there. Yeah? Good. Let's go ahead. So all together, we used 200 milliliters of water. So you see, this is how my dough looks like. That's how my dough looks like. You can see that? Good. See that? Good. Good. Has to stick. Has to keep sticking to the finger. You see that? You see? That's how the dough is meant to be. Nice, fluffy. I'll wash up my hands and cover it up with a cling film. Now, we set it aside for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Alright? So, my dough has rested for 45 minutes. You can see my dough here. It's very nice. You can remember how it was. So, this is almost twice its size. And we will use just some baking flour. This is baking flour. So, before we take out the dough from the bowl, we'll put our baking flour here. Just some bit of it on the work table. Yes, like that. Put your hands right there. Get your the flour on your hands, like that. And try to get off the dough. Yeah. Wow, it's nice. Very nice. And just like that. See? Good. So basically, you might want to knead in some flour into the dough. You see how it is? Visually divided into two, but to be very certain, you could weigh your dough up, yeah, so that they will be of the same gram on each one of them. However is comfortable for you. Now, 1/2 of the dough will go back on in the bowl, this one, and I'll do with this one. Rolling pin, maybe a little bit of flour will still go on the work table. And with my rolling pin, I will roll up my dough. Yeah? Like that. And to make it a circle, yes? And like that, that's enough, yes? I roll up my dough to be at least 0.5 to 1 centimeter. But mine is more like a 0.5 centimeter, just 1/2 centimeter, yeah, of thickness. And I put it aside like that. I take up my second dough, yes. Okay, I think we've gotten almost the same shape like the first one, yes. Okay, so the diameter of our donuts depends on us, and I want my donut to be this big. So I use this cup. So if you want yours to be bigger, smaller, however, please, your choice. Now, this is what I do, yes. I just press it out. Keep pressing it out. Make sure that the hand faces outwards, not inwards. So it should go out of the dough, yes? If you like your dough higher than mine, it's okay. You can go 1 centimeter to 0.5. Even sometimes they have 2, 3, however. But you will see how mine comes out and you will decide for yourself what you want. It's a very nice job for the children. They'll enjoy this. pressing out circles. And the second one, same thing, press it outwards, you know, put your handle outwards. It is done. Yes, I am done with this. The second stage, water, plate, brush. Water, plate, and a brush. So, here is how we do it. Yes. Soak our brush into the water, soak it very well. Make it a little bit dry. And go ahead, just to dampen everywhere. Yes? Just make it dry and go ahead. Don't make it wet, make it damp. Damp. Yes? Just damp. If you are not sure if it is damp enough, you can touch with your hands to find that out. Okay, this is damp enough, damp enough. Enough. So how do I know it's damp enough? It's going to be a little sticky to the fingers. That's when you know it's damp enough. That is it. Now, damp to damp is equal to 1. Good. 1, 2. You see that? Sometimes you may have difficulty to put it up together. Don't forget that you have a way of making your life easier. Okay? Just go closing it up, yes? Let me take it on my hand so that you can see what I'm doing. I close it up like that, yes? I just go pinching it all around, yes? At the edge. Pinch it like that at the edge, yes? Okay, and then push it back in. Yes, push it back in. Make it neat, just like that, yes? And this is it, you see? Very nice. Don't worry, when it rises up, it's going to be very beautiful. And the next thing we do, we put this in the middle. Look for the middle. Maybe before then, we can go with the baking flour, a little bit, yes? So the dough doesn't stick to it and make our lives difficult. Okay, so isn't it? Look for the middle, and press it. Press it, dip inside, turn it around, pull out the dough. See? It's a donut. Look at that. Very nice, yes? And I'll put it here. I'll do the rest just in the same manner. Now, this dough here that is left, I would roll it up again and do the same thing. Okay, so here we have our donuts, and we have altogether 11 donuts and a half, yes? This, I just can't make it into 2, so I made it as 1. So that is it. We wait for 45 minutes to 1 hour from now. I'll get back to you, and that's when we'll start frying. Our donuts are ready for frying after 45 minutes. This is how big our donuts have become. We turn on our burner. Our pan goes on the burner, and we will have 1 liter of oil go into our pan. Vegetable oil, preferably. And as our pan is heated up, I put in 1 liter of vegetable oil into my pan. Okay. I have it right there. Yes, it's 1 liter of vegetable oil goes into the pan. So the oil is on fire. We are waiting for the oil to be hot. Now, in waiting for our oil to get hot, I can see a little bit of bubbles going on there. I will reduce my heat to medium heat right there. Now my oil is ready for use. This is how we go about it. Those ones who are new to the system, we go this way, push it there. Yeah. Medium heat, please, medium heat. Okay, so our donuts are ready. So that is how our donuts look like. You can see the line, yes, on our donuts, very nice. So now, let me tell you a little bit about the line, you know, how to get the line. If you want it really big, roll it to 1 centimeter so that your donut will have that really thick line around it. So let me have a taste of this donut. It's very nice, very soft. No oil whatsoever. Just try it out. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to make the toppings for our donuts. Do have a nice time.